A lawyer who worked closely with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein testified to the House Oversight Committee today. I want to bring in CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman. Katrina, Darren Indyke isn't a big name like the Clintons per se, but could you give us some more background on who he is and the depth of his connection to Jeffrey Epstein?
Yeah, so Darren Indyke is not a famous name at all like the Clintons, but survivors and others involved in the investigation of Epstein would agree that this is one of the most important people to speak with. This is someone who was Epstein's personal lawyer for decades. He was intimately involved in both Epstein's life and in his companies. He was a lawyer on a wide array of matters: corporate, transactional, general legal services. He's also the co-executor of Epstein's estate. That is along with Richard Kahn, a longtime accountant for Epstein, who was also deposed by the House Oversight Committee. He CC'd on financial emails with Epstein's banks. His name was also on dozens of Epstein's businesses. He has reached settlements with Epstein's survivors. So this is someone with a lot of knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein's orbit. Despite all of that, he says that he had no knowledge of Epstein's wrongdoing, and he says had he known, he would have quit.
Now, Katrina, this is a closed-door deposition. Are we getting any more insight into his testimony?
We've learned some. We have his opening statement. That's where he denies any knowledge. He also in here raises these allegations that he was involved in sham marriages between women in Epstein's life. The allegation is that marriages were arranged between American victims of Epstein's and women from abroad to bring them to the United States. What he says is that those allegations are 100% untrue, that he didn't have knowledge of this, and that he also didn't think it was appropriate to question these women about the reasons for their marriages. We've further learned that he won't confirm or deny whether a settlement was reached with a woman who's known as Jane Doe 4. And this is someone who has also made allegations against President Trump. We have some sound as well from some lawmakers who have been in the room. So let's take a listen to what they had to say.
While I can't give you specifics, I can tell you that he has been quite defensive of Jeffrey Epstein. Even in the face of real convictions, even in the face of real allegations, he still is very defensive of Jeffrey Epstein, almost as if he still doesn't believe Jeffrey Epstein to be who Jeffrey Epstein was. Now, mind you, that the vast majority of what any of us know, actually, as it relates to the Epstein files, the vast majority was actually coming from the estate. It was the DOJ that was dragging their feet. And so even after turning over these documents, he still sits there and seemingly is in a very defensive stance.
As with all the other witnesses, they all claim they never had any knowledge before it became public that Mr. Epstein was involved with women, doing anything inappropriately with young women. Now, we asked about, well, you were with him after the conviction, and he, Mr. Indyke, if I remember correctly, he said that Epstein told him it was a mistake, it was a one-time deal. He didn't know the girl was underage, the one that he got convicted of in West Palm Beach. And Indyke said he convinced him he would never do it again.
Now, Indyke says that it may be hard for people to believe, but he claims that he did not know what his client was doing in his private life. But we also got a statement from an attorney who represents a number of Epstein survivors, James Marsh. And what he said is that Indyke's claimed ignorance of Jeffrey Epstein's widespread abuse of women and girls is deeply troubling. He went on to say that his testimony only underscores how much still remains hidden about the vast network of enablers that allowed these crimes to persist for decades.
Katrina Kaufman, thank you so much.